All right, the property prequel, be in the know before you buy. Super exciting. Got the Arcs Matt Q&A series, which I'm joined by Jamila again, who works at the Srama Group, heads up the marketing side, and really good question, Huck. So she's got some juicy ones today. But how are you, Jamila?
I'm well. Thanks for having me again.
Always. I'm taking a bit of a little sabbatical on the potties. I think it's been about 2 weeks since we did one. I had it was end of quarter three. Thought I'd recharge, reset. I'm so big on pre-booking holidays and things like that. So I had a few days off, which was nice. Got down to Ocean Shores, a place called South Golden Beach. If no one's ever been there, highly recommend. It was super low key. Hey, it was really, really good to regenerate, refresh. I did miss the podcast though, so we're back. We thought we'd go hard with the Q&A series, the Arcs Mad, and really appreciate all the questions people submitted through. We'll get straight into it, Jamila, but if you do want a question answered, anything, we talk a bit of property, a bit of business, a bit of personal as well. I like to mix it up with these eps, keep them short, sharp, punchy. Be on the lookout for our post on Instagram. Follow us on there and you'll see it come up, Arcs Matt, for the Q&A series. We'll pick 6, dive deep. And we'll rip in. What's our 6 this week? I'm excited.
Let's go. Another good mix between personal and property.
Love it.
However, our first question is more on the property side of things. So let's get into it. How can I pay off my mortgage quicker?
How can I pay off my mortgage quicker? Really good question. I'll tell you what, I thought about this, not and none of this, by the way, in this episode is financial advice, by the way, but personal opinion on me. 2023, where I am right now, I'm giving my personal opinion. I'm going to put it in 2 buckets. Owner-occupied property, known as principal place of residence, then investment property. 2 of them, I look at them differently in terms of paying off mortgage debt. First one is, let's go on owner-occupied property. Personally, I actually like to pay down the principal debt on those ones. Reason is, there's no tax benefit with the debt on that one. I really want to try and punch down the debt on that because we can then utilize that equity gain and then inject that into investment properties over here. So I'm just going to stay with the owner-occ ones, not tax deductible debt. My goal is, yes, I do like paying principal on there. What I really like to do as well is try and offset those types of loans. So for instance, currently on my owner occupier, I've got liquid cash sitting offset on that loan. What that does is same repayment, but I'm lowering interest costs and paying more of the principal. So I'm really big on that. So that's the owner occupied side. So yes, I do like paying it. Tips to pay it off quicker is potentially putting in, chat to your broker, bank, whoever it is, where your mortgage is with, and talk about structuring an offset loan because money sitting in there will offset the interest on that one. And remember, owner-occupied property, the interest sitting on that is not tax deductible. So that's my big tip there is try and, you can obviously manually just pay it down and add cash to it, but I really like to put cash offset against it so I'm paying down principal, not so much interest on that one. Now, on investment properties, I love this one. Look, my personal opinion, I always try to stick to interest-only loans as long as I can. And the reason is this. I can actually claim against the interest costs, the mortgage costs, the buy-in costs. All of that is essentially tax deductible because it's an investment property. I'm not living in them. So what I like to do is keep the repayments lower because I'm not paying the principal. I'm just paying the interest required. I look at property where the rent will cover that smaller payment of the interest and then utilize the surplus cash to improve my servicing, so aka having better cash flow, so I can show the bank each time I go for loan, my servicing's a bit stronger. So all it is, it's 2 parts. A lot of investors do like paying down principal, which is cool as well, but just for where I'm at in my life, still considering myself younger, it's okay for me to keep them in interest only, I feel, because I really want to be asset rich, but also have liquid cash as ammunition as well. And the reason I call it ammunition is I learned this from my accountant. Savvy investors can always pull the trigger when others can't. So when a deal pops up, I want to make sure I've got liquid cash ready to go to basically go bang, bang, bang on really good deals, secure them quickly with really good terms. So that's why I like to only pay interest only on my investments, because I want to be more liquid heavy here, extract equity when I can, and then load the gun and shoot when the deal pops up. So that's just my personal opinion. Investment properties in a nutshell, I keep to interest only loans as long as I can. Once the interest loan term expires, so for anyone who doesn't know, interest only loans, sometimes they'll do 3 years, sometimes they'll do 5 years. At the end of the 3 years, you can reapply based on where you're at financially as well. So on your borrowing capacity. So people always think, oh, it's just going to tick over to principal and interest now. That's not correct. Chat to your broker around this, but if you can service it, you can continue again for maybe another 3 years. So I really try to limit, again, the amount of principal I'm paying, because again, the interest doesn't really scare me, because again, it's tax deductible because it's investment. So hopefully that, I know there's a little bit, if you're not too experienced in that space, I try to make it a little bit self-explanatory. People experienced would understand this very well, but my biggest tip is chat to a broker, whoever's done your loans and banks, and really try and structure things correctly, because my biggest tip in that whole loan space is to scale and be successful in property. It's a game of finance. That's my broker told me that day one. It's definitely a game of finance. So go learn it. I was in pre-vocational maths. I'm terrible with numbers.
So was I.
Yeah. And I tell you what, learning around finance and structure has changed my life.
Wow, love it. Such good value on that.
Yeah. A little bit of injection of value. I feel, all right, I'm on
I feel
now.
like I just learnt so much myself.
Yeah.
I was trying to take that all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good value.
Yeah. So in layman's terms, for anyone who's really novice in this area, think of principal as the debt. You're paying down the debt. Principal. Interest is because you've got a loan, you've got to pay back the bank and slide interest.
Okay.
Again, on investment properties, you can actually claim all those extra costs and
Amazing.
claim it in your tax return.
There you go.
There you go.
You learn something new every day.
Yep. That's it. What do we got next?
All right. So I had a look at it before. A lot of people have actually been asking this question. What's the go with the whole black outfit? It's literally just been black for the last couple of weeks, and people want to know what's happening.
Yeah.
Are you washing your clothes?
Well, I put it down to two parts, all right? First part is decision making. And it sounds funny, but there's a lot of science behind it as well, that the energy it takes to pick your outfit each day is the same amount of energy used to make a key decision in your business.
Wow.
So I look at a lot of business people, ones that I look up to, and what I've observed is they wear the same thing a lot of the time.
I have noticed
Yeah,
that.
it just became really aware to me, and I was interested in that, because I was like, well, why do they do that? And you hear of Steve Jobs, he had the same black turtleneck and he just wear the same thing. John McGrath, I know he used to do that as well. Now I'm not saying I'm anywhere in those fields, but I actually really do value my thought, thinking energy. So if I can remove that key decision of the day of choosing what outfit to wear by having a structured wardrobe that is pretty much the same each day, I feel I'm winning. And I'm okay with that. It's not for everyone. I totally get that. But for me, I actually really like it. I'm a little bit on the OCD side. I do like a clean wardrobe, structured and nice and clean. And I just want to go up each day. And that thought is now gone. And it actually has helped.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel
I need
there's...
to get onto this. I don't know if I could wear the same outfit every day, but I can see where that could support, because every morning having to think of what you wear is a drainer.
Yeah. Look, you can peel it back one step, maybe plan what you're going to wear the night before. I used to do that.
Yeah.
But I've just gone that extra mile and just kind of like, I don't even have to think about it ever. So I already know it takes that key decision out in the morning, so I can basically leverage that into higher leverage decisions.
Okay.
So that's reason one. Reason two, I've been more focused on is personal brand. So there's some really cool studies, and I don't know, again, I love observing. A lot of the people I see with really strong personal brands, they wear very similar outfits.
I've
And
noticed that.
yeah, and it's nearly like when they pop up in your head, you're thinking of them, like you can actually see them like they're a product kind of thing. So
By what they wear
By what
and
they
how
wear.
they style. How
yeah,
they style.
and their
Yep.
style and whatnot. And I came from an entrepreneur's retreat literally 2 weeks ago, and there was a lady there, and she was always wearing white, and I
Oh,
went
you
up to
did
her,
tell me
yeah,
this
and
story,
I
yep.
spoke to her, and I was like, hey, like you're wearing white, look, and I just get an idea, and she went and seen a personal stylist who focuses on personal brand. So they developed their message, and I don't go this far, but her dresses had certain things on it that related to her personality.
How interesting.
And on Fridays, you know, it's a bit more casual, still same color. On Mondays, it was a bit more businessy, same color. Very interesting. So, but the key I'm trying to make is I am trying to be a bit more intentional with personal brand. Reason is I'm feeling the new age is personal brand first, business second. I think back in the day, it was business first, and that would create the founder's
personal.
brand. I feel these days, if you have a strong personal brand, I think of it like an umbrella. A strong personal brand is essentially like the holding stick of the umbrella, the foundation of it. If you have that strong and you open the umbrella, all of a sudden you have these potential branches that you could leverage off of one strong personal brand. So I'm seeing it more and more again. I think the new commodity in the world now is attention. I'm thinking of having a strong personal brand is just as important as having a strong business brand, if not more important. And I'm just feeling though, if you create a strong personal brand, you can impact more people, you can create more leverage, and I feel you can create more expertise and authority based off that one pillar of your personal brand. So to answer your question, less decision, so I can put that energy into bigger decisions. And I want to focus on building a personal brand. Simple as that, really.
I'm going to get into that.
Yeah.
That's
And quick one.
Yeah.
I went to this shop, Uniqlo.
Oh, good old
you know
Uniqlo.
Uniqlo?
Of course.
Never had them on my radar, ever.
Yeah, I can't say they're on my radar.
Ever. To get them on your radar.
Oh,
yeah.
I know the men's clothes are great.
Yeah, true.
I'm a
yeah,
bit iffy on the female,
I
but I
can't-
will give it a crack.
I can't say I
will.
can't comment on females because I don't know,
Yeah,
but
look.
definitely for males, look, simple, minimalist, no logos, love it. The thing I love is this. Chinos, pants there. If you buy through them, they
Are
hem
they
it.
the ones you're wearing
Yeah.
today?
So
Yeah.
I've got them hemmed perfectly at the size I want.
Oh, so they do that there.
I measured exactly how I wanted them.
Okay.
Measured them on the spot, hemmed it. I went for a little shop. 2 hours later, I come back, pants done.
Oh, so you can go get a coffee, do a little bit of shopping.
And you come back and your pants are hemmed. And do you know what the cost was?
Tell me.
Free.
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Crazy, I know.
How could you say no?
How could you say no? So highly recommend. But yeah, shout out Uniqlo.
Okay. Well, the men will have to get onto that.
Get onto it, 100%.
All right. So let's go on to the third question, a little bit back onto the property side of things. Okay, this is a very popular question, I find. And so let's start with that. 2023, what's your opinion, especially towards the end of the year, on the property market conditions?
I can give, I'll give a quick one on, I'll give a quick broad one and then I'll give a quick Gold Coast one because obviously I can
Yes,
comment a
of
bit
course,
more
yeah.
on a deeper level for Gold Coast. I think broadly speaking, the interest rate environment has definitely eased up a little bit. People are more aware and accepting of the interest rate rises. Like when they first started rising, people were they retreated, scary, whatever. That's life. That's the world. What happens is people get used to the norm, and what happens is they come back out to play. And what I'm noticing is I don't remember the last headline on interest rates. You know, it's still high, but there's less media scrutiny around it and attention. So what I feel is that's life. That's always what happens. And now what I'm noticing, definitely in Southeast Queensland, because I do have good contacts in Brisbane. I can't comment too much Sydney and Melbourne. I'm not too sure, but I have heard it's similar, that this spring season, the heat is on. And not just in terms of market numbers. One thing I always look at is open home numbers. So a quick little one to consider: how many shoes are out the front of an open home? When it's crowded, like anyone in the property industry will understand, you walk to a crowded open home, there are shoes everywhere. 6 to 8 months ago, very little shoes at the front door. Now what I'm noticing is, especially in blue chip locations, there's a lot of shoes out the front again. There's a little bit of a lineup happening. I seen one in Brisbane the other day where the line was around the corner. So what I'm noticing is confidence. People are accepting of interest rates. It is what it is. Now, again, why property is so strong, the commodity is shelter. It is always going to be a necessity. So at the end of the day, once there's confidence, people need the necessity again. I feel that's what's going to happen for the back end of the year. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be a lot more buyers frustrated. And the worst part of it all, I don't think stock is going to increase. And what that does, it just creates a real imbalance with supply and demand. And as simple as it gets, that's all you need to look at. Now, if I look at the Gold Coast, this is probably the biggest one. Yes, heated. Yes, more people rocking up at open homes, things like that. The thing I'm fearful of for buyers on the Gold Coast is this, that you've got ocean to the east, you've got hinterland to the west. So you cannot build more supply on either channel. So all you're left with is, on the Gold Coast, this supply in the middle, which is dwellings, right? Construction costs are high. The cost to knock down and build is high. So for people to go through that exercise now is very expensive. Rental vacancies are low. Demand for rentals is high. So it's a lot harder for people to move out of property and rent for a bit to find their next property, because it's very hard to find that, what I used to call the halfway house for the next property that they own. So they're just staying put. So what I'm trying to fully explain here is that the migration, the popularity to live on the Gold Coast, the lifestyle drivers of people wanting to live here, the gentrification happening, the numbers to moving here are still increasing, but the supply is still stable, if not getting less. So what that creates is, for every home that does come up for sale, there's more numbers are tracking it, like when you throw a chip and the seagulls are on. I'm telling you,
everyone's there.
Everyone is starting to get there again. It is heating up. And my biggest tip, if you are a buyer, I feel there's probably still around 3 to 4 months of regular activity, slightly hot. You know, you may miss out on one here and there because of competition, all those sorts of things. I really, really believe, personal opinion, around Easter next year, moving into end of financial year 2024, we will be saying to ourselves, man, I wish I secured something end of 2023.
Wow.
That's just my gut feel.
Okay, everyone.
No one's got a crystal ball. Don't take my advice. I just give in a personal opinion. Yeah.
Good insight.
But watch this space.
Good insight. Okay. Anything more on that, or?
No, it's just don't be, I'm just feeling frustrated. And an easy one we always go, because we are a Gold Coast based buyers agency, we focus on helping buyers. I can see it straight away with the amount of leads that come in terms of inquiry. So it's quite easy to, I know when people are getting frustrated or struggling or lack of stock.
Yeah.
Like it's just obvious. We just look at our CRM and how many inquiries we're having.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I talk to them and there's a lot more pain. It's a real quick indicator that what's to come. Because I've always noticed when our lead numbers are high, 90 days later, the market's hot.
It's hot.
Yeah. When our lead numbers drop, what happens is, it starts to quieten up a bit. And then for us, it becomes more around securing great deals because less competition.
There you go.
So there's a little insight into the business side that, look, read between the lines.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here. Yeah.
Epic.
That's it.
Good. So our next question, have you ever thought, this has actually been asked before, have you ever thought about being a business coach? And do you do any public speaking events, trainings? Like I know that you actually recently did one. Was it this week for?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
Yep.
what's that question's about? Will you ever become a business coach, and do you do public speaking and training events?
I mean, who knows what the future holds right now? No, like I don't. Like I love business. Don't get me wrong.
No to business coaching.
Yeah, no to business coaching. Look, don't get me wrong. I love it. I love business. I'm obsessed. I think it's more of a case of not so much imposter syndrome. I'd be confident if someone wanted me to help them, but I'm only in my third year, and I've got a lot to learn. So I'm very accurate and realistic to know I've got a lot of more to get through the trenches before I add advice to others. I can always pass on knowledge, and I feel I'm doing very well for the amount of years I've been in the game, for sure. And I love when people ask me. I'm more than happy to help. But in terms of, I think any coaching aspect, I feel you've got to have the scar tissue, you've got to have the experience to be able to pass knowledge on to other people and charge them for it. So I just wouldn't feel right in my, I've just got a lot to learn in business. So
fair enough.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel right doing that. Now on the buyer's agency business, I feel there's a little niche starting to build.
You did mention something about this the other day.
Yeah, I mean, you've got access to our DMs and stuff.
Yeah. There's a bit going on there.
Yeah, the amount of people that want to catch up to pick my brain because they want to be a buyer's agent is wild. So what I'm noticing is this industry is growing in terms of buyer's agency.
Definitely.
Exciting, yes. Love it, 100%. Does it worry me though? Yes, it does, because it's not like real estate sales. I worked as a sales agent. I loved real estate sales. The only difference is I find in the buyer's agency space, you can apply all the principles from sales and all those things, but I just feel to start, you have to have at least, 3 to 5-ish years of either buying property yourself over a decade or you've bought a lot of property before, or you've worked with a buyer's agency for some time before you can take someone's money and buy a property for them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The entry level to be a buyer's agent is low.
Yeah, I've actually noticed with your DMs and a lot of because I do all the bookings and whatnot, a lot of people are really trying to rush into this,
yes.
doing the courses. I did my quick course and where do I start and how do I, but it kind of frustrates me as well, because I know what goes on behind the scenes is there's a lot of hard work. It doesn't just happen like that. So I think, even bringing awareness to people that are wanting to get into or becoming a buyer's agent it's not just a matter of doing the course, having exactly what you're saying, having the experience.
Definitely. I think the course and that are great, 100%, but you need to, this is what I would do. If you're someone out there who wants to become a buyer's agent, I'd focus on these two things. Having a look at, do I want to become an owner-occupied buyer's agent? More focusing on helping people deliver results to get them into their dream homes. And that's dictated by geographical location. Or am I a buyer's agent who wants to specialize in investment properties and helping people buy investment properties that isn't dedicated to a geographical location? So that's the first two on there. Second part is, if you're not experienced, go work under someone. Shadow them. All you should be doing for the first 12 to 24 months is learning.
So
even if you have bought property before, I still feel you need to learn. And if you can combine the property acumen of buying a property, if you're experienced, combined with customer service and business acumen, you put those two together, that's a weapon buyer's agent, in my opinion.
There you go.
So that would be my tip. And back to the following question, where do I feel I can add value in coaching and speaking and those sorts of things? I've started doing a fair bit with buyer's agents. And yeah, got a few speaking gigs over the next few weeks. Brisbane, got one on the coast as well with buyers agencies, just trying to, add value. And for me, it's purely just adding value back to the industry that's really given me so much. So, I just feel I want to create a bit of a thought leadership in that space. It does motivate me a little bit. I love seeing my team grow and who they've become through mentorship and helping. So that's definitely a space in terms of coaching, definitely the buyers agency
I can see that
space. But yeah, if you ever, even like bookings and inquiries, just read info@thesramagroup.com. And yeah, we're nearly booked out for the rest of the year, but might have some things for
I was like, hold on, don't go
for next year. So check it out if that is of interest or you want to do any training. I've done a few with like sales agents as well, just to give perspective on how they can collaborate with buyers agents to excel their game as well. So that'd be my opinion on the whole coaching thing.
There you go. Fantastic. Good to know. We'll stay tuned for all of that.
Yeah.
So I wrote all these questions out before and I'm having trouble reading my writing. But this second last question, we've got 3 tips for first-time purchasers looking to reno and add value.
Yes. Okay. So 3 tips for first-time purchasers looking to renovate and add value. Okay. Number 1 is this. I would be focusing on keeping a solid floor plan and keeping it to cosmetic only. Okay. For first timers, I feel big risk taken on knocking down walls, extensions, going into load bearing walls, things like that. It's a big ask for a first timer. So what I'd be looking for is a usable, stable floor plan where you don't really have to change the dynamic of the floor plan. Instead, I'd be focusing on cosmetic rather than structural changes.
I love that.
Now, cosmetic, for anyone who doesn't know, look, simply keep the floor plan as is and maybe you can get rid of the dated carpet, chuck some nice floorboards in.
The basics.
I always do paint. White, if your first timer is just an easy one, white throughout. It's as simple as that. Get a good painter or do it yourself. Fans, blinds. Like blinds is a super easy one as well. Like get rid of the old blinds and chuck some fresh new ones in. I remember my first few properties, I went to Bunnings and put them in myself. And I'm no handyman. So if I can do it, you can do it. So blinds, fans, flooring, they're really easy ones internally. And then you can, if you do have a little bit more budget, look, maybe you can rip out the kitchen and replace where the kitchen is now and just replace it as well. You don't need to fully change where all the plumbing is and things like that. Super basic cosmetic renovation. So that'd be number 1. Stick to a basic floor plan so you don't have to go structural. Instead, focus on cosmetic. That'd be number 1.
Love it.
Number 2 would be looking at street appeal. So street appeal is easy way. Stand out the front of the property, look back at it, and look to the left and look to the right and look behind you. And get a feel of what the street appeal is like. And an easy one to change on the street appeal is exterior paint. Now, yes, that cost is going up, but it makes a huge difference. Exterior paint, I feel. Just getting the roof sprayed sometimes. You don't even have to paint it. Sometimes just getting it cleaned is a cheap option. I know that's always done wonders, like the guttering even. Just the little street appeal. And then if you do have some extra budget, what I notice a lot of people doing is maybe creating a nice front facade with maybe a fence, maybe some new palm trees or some nice greenery, just neatening up, even changing the letterbox, like just neatening up the front street appeal of there. I remember in one of my first homes, I'd literally just varnished the door and it made a huge difference, So just little things. On another property, I did get exterior paint and wow, it lasts a while. There's a huge difference, huge. So that's another really simple one as well. And then the third one I'd say would be, focus on the key areas of the property. So if you're a first timer and you haven't got the budget to do every single room in the home, I'd focus on what are the top 2 to 3 key areas that you can apply value to. So for me, I'd be focusing on the areas that a family stays in the most. which would be kitchen, kind of that living space, kitchen and living space. And then the third could potentially be, if we take out bedrooms, potentially like the greenery and backyard as well. Or if it's on a unit, then I'd look at something like the key master bedroom, bathroom kind of thing. So that'd be my focus in a house. Definitely that kitchen living space would be a good one. So look, if you wanted to spend a little bit more to ensure, there's a nice, there's storage and things like that. That's a real big one in kitchens, making sure there's storage, space as well. Like some of the older style kitchens are quite pokey. You can actually, you don't have to change the floor plan. All you do is you just change the dynamic of how that kitchen looks. So that's what I'd be focusing on. So to wrap it all up, my top 3 tips for someone first timer looking to add value and renovate would be focus on finding a very easy floor plan that doesn't need structural, instead just focus on cosmetic. Number 2 would be having a look at street appeal and planting yourself at the front of the property and assessing what you can apply value to there. And then the third would be, if on a limited budget, pick the 2 key areas that you feel would be the most beneficial for that market in terms of where the demographic of who will live there stay the most. So maybe kitchen, living areas, etc., and just work backwards from there. So that'd be my big 3. I think the caveat one, to glad wrap it all up, right? Mm-hmm. The big one is location does 80% of the heavy lifting. So if you want to make money from this, everything I just said, there's one rule that trumps it all. It's got to be in a good location.
100%.
Every day of the week.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. That gets me a little bit motivated to renovate.
Yeah.
It's just the little things as well, like it makes such a difference. And then, like you said, having the right location, bit of a cosmetic uplift.
Keep it cosmetic. I remember my first few properties and I'm not handy at all. And I remember during COVID, I was just bored. There was nothing happening. And this is before I started the business. And not handy at all. And I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to cosmetically uplift some of my properties to boost rental cash flow. That's all it was. I could improve the rent from, say, $400 a week to $450 to $490 a week. Nearly $100 more a week just from literally barely anything done.
There you go.
I remember one of the properties as well, I went fully flooring, did the whole shebang, improved rent by around $140 a week. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but
makes a difference.
Again, I'm Prevo Mass. I don't know what it is over a year, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
For literally, it took me 2 days.
It's worth
2 days.
a little bit of investing.
A bit of sweat equity and some sore hands. So it was worth it. A few blisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's move on. So for our last question, it's a bit of a fun one and something that men in particular always ask you. What is your skin routine?
The skin routine.
So glowing.
I might preface on this because I used to get teased. I used to play professional sport, right? I was an NRL player and I used to get teased in the locker rooms around that I'd moisturize my skin.
Like a bit of fun?
Yeah,
or
a bit of fun.
But
like,
they're still
not bullying,
giving it to you.
Not
I'm like, how far did they go with the bullying?
I didn't care. I always used to giggle. I didn't stop me doing it.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, it was funny. I said to someone, because one of my teammates said, man, you haven't aged much. And I said, yeah, remember all those times you used to tease me around moisturizer? Man, you should have done the same thing.
Should have listened.
So with the skin stuff, look, long story short, I feel genetics is obviously one for sure. My mum is very young looking, like she's from the Philippines.
And your background as well.
Yeah,
being
part Polish, part Philippine. So lucky with that. But definitely I do put a lot of effort into skin and I'm really big. I'm actually quite passionate about men's skincare. I think there's
that's your next thing.
You know me, I'm always trying to think of little niches. But I really think the modern man these days, they're looking after their skin. So for me, I've learned a little bit about it, but I guess I have a routine is probably number one. I always have a routine. I do moisturize morning and night, always. I've started incorporating moisturizers that have rose hip oil. I don't know,
Rosehip oil is pretty good.
Done some research. And then I actually use the little droplet oil thing, probably twice a week or 3 times a week.
Do you know what oil that is? Or you're not sure?
Rosehip. No, that's
it's a
actual
rosehip oil.
rosehip oil.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So I haven't got too much stuff. I literally got a rosehip oil,
You
a
just-
day moisturizer, and a night moisturizer.
You're essentially keeping your skin super hydrated.
pretty
pretty
much.
much,
Yeah. Well, I'm
yes.
no expert.
Yeah.
You seem like you're the expert here.
I'm
so-
like, I can give you the skin
Yeah,
routine.
yeah.
But you look after your skin, is what
yeah,
you're saying.
yeah. And then the third one is what you eat actually impacts your skin. Huge. Yeah, massive. So at home, I do like to eat quite a preservative-free diet. That was one thing I cut a few years ago. Anything that had read the back and it had like little numbers in brackets, I just wouldn't touch it. So that's a no-go. Now I'm trying to lift the produce up and try to eat more grass-fed or more organic and things like that. So not always, but I try to. But a big one in the food space, I read this a few years ago. I actually don't like eating it. I put it in my smoothies every single morning. I've done this for like the last, 6 or 7 years. Haven't missed a morning. 50 grams of avocado.
There you go.
Yeah.
Really? Avo.
So I've heard avocado is really good for your skin.
Yeah.
It's good fats. But the big one of all, if you put it in a smoothie, it thickens a smoothie up. Like I remember when I was a kid, you'd have the McDonald's. What are they? The thick shakes? It's like that. I kid you.
Yeah.
Literally.
It
It's the
does
best
do
thing
that.
ever.
Yeah.
You just throw an avocado. So avocado, deadly on 2 fronts. Good for your skin. And also will bring you back to being a kid again and having an epic milk smoothie, an epic Macca's smoothie. There you go.
And healthy.
Yeah, exactly right.
And I was going to say another one for your skin, I reckon for you, is you smash the water. Like you're constantly, not like too much, but like you're always.
I need piss always. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Always.
That keeps you, I would say, it has a huge
true.
thing to keeping your skin hydrated.
True. And sun, I heard sun, I'm trying to be better at sunscreen.
Yeah.
It damages your skin. I'm looking now that I'm getting older.
Oh, same.
I heard it. I heard it's a big one as well. But yeah, a bit of a random one, that one.
Yeah, but a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Good way to end the Q&A. A bit more impersonal.
No, it was really good. I really enjoyed that. And as I said, keep an eye out with the Arcs Mat series. We've had so much positive feedback and I really do appreciate it. We try and roll these out, I reckon, once every 4 weeks, kind of once a month. So stay on the lookout. You'll see it on our page. It says, the little question box comes up. Put your question in, see if yours gets chosen to answer on a deeper level. And if there's any burning questions, let us know. But really appreciate all the feedback. As I said, it would mean a lot if you could either share it or if you see any of the micro clips, we like to clip some of these up and get out to the community because I'm all about trying to add value. So if you find value, make sure you tag someone, share it, and then leave some feedback as well. Because what that does, it really helps us build a stronger community so we can add value literally straight back to you. So keep a lookout for some coming eps as well. And obviously we've had some really good eps in the past as well. So I've had a few people actually go back and listen to a lot of eps as well, which has been cool. Like them literally DMing me and they're sending an ep from like 12 months ago. So if you haven't listened, have a little scroll, see if anything jumps out because the property prequel is all about helping buyers before you actually buy. So we get to chat to so many amazing guests in this industry and throughout. And these little Ask Matt series are just more of, just a little extra punch of value as well. So really appreciate the support. Have a great week. Chat soon.